يلا اتفضل يا استاذ مصطفى.
كده الخلفية أفضل من العمود اللي كان ورايا.
كده تمام.
ماشي.
اتفضل يا استاذ مصطفى.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is Mustafa Hamad and I will be your host today for this new window. Welcome everyone to this important session organized by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in collaboration with the QCPA to touch base on the new auditing profession law issued in the current year. Speaking about the audit profession, we cannot find speakers more relevant than the auditors themselves. So please join me welcoming our speakers for today. We have Walid Tahtamouni, Assurance Partner in PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, Certified Public Accountant with over than 16 years of audit experience among different territories. Also welcome Ahmed Sayed with me, Associate Partner from EY, Certified Public Accountant, among other certifications with more over than 20 years of audit experience among also different territories. We will start our session today with Walid Tahtamouni to talk about the audit profession and the chartered accountant registration process. Then we'll go for Ahmed Sayed. We'll talk about the auditor's duties, responsibilities, and penalties and general provisions. Now I'm handing over to Walid to start his presentation.
Thank you, Mustafa. If you can put the presentation. First of all, good evening, everyone. Inshallah, next time it will be a face-to-face meeting, so we can see you and we can have more participation from people. My name is Walid Tahtamouni. I am a partner in PwC Qatar. I started my career back in 2003 in Ernst & Young Jordan, and then I moved to PwC Jordan in 2009, and then moved to Qatar last year coming from PwC Jordan. I'm US certified and Jordanian certified public accountant. First of all, also we have to thank the QCPA and the ministry for this opportunity, because there is new requirements and the new laws, so it's good to have this opportunity to present to you the changes. My colleague Ahmed from EY will give you some details from the law. I will give you the overview about the changes in the law and who are the regulators that regulate our profession. So in my agenda, I will talk about what regulates and directs the auditing profession, the overview of law number 8 for the year 2020, and the chartered accountant registration. So first of all, it is very important to know who are the regulators for the auditing profession. So in Qatar, we have different regulators who regulate the provision in addition to the regulators of the profession globally or internationally. So the first one is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry that regulates the profession related to all companies under the ministry. We have the QFMA for all listed entities in Qatar. We have the QCB for all banks, whether listed or not listed, and other financial institutions, not only banks. So we have the insurance and brokerage units under the Qatar Central Bank. We have the QFCRA, the regulatory authority of the QFC for the QFC entity. And then from international standards, we have the ISBA, which is the Code of Ethics, the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, and the International Auditing and Assurance Board, ISB, for the International Standards on Auditing. So if you can see that there are many regulators who regulate our profession. However, and usually, if you have any contradiction between any of these regulators on any law or any sentence, then usually the auditors will follow the stronger regulators. Mustafa, if you can go to the second slide. Yeah, so this is the new law. There are no many changes happened in the new law. However, the new law that issued in March 2020, law number 8 for the year 2020, there are 7 chapters, 7 sections in this law. The first one is related to the general definitions. The second one is related to the registers of chartered accountants. The chapter 3 is talking about registration procedures, and then rights and obligations of chartered accountants, accountability of chartered accountants, penalties, and general and final provisions. My colleague Ahmed will cover some of these chapters. Some other chapters like chapter 1 and chapter 2 are the same as the old law, which is 2004, I guess. It is worth mentioning here that although we have this law, but there will be some executive regulations that will come later on. So these are still not published, but these will regulate further the profession for the external auditors. For the chartered accountant registration, we have two types of registers. We have the register related to the chartered accountants, the practicing chartered accountants like myself, Mustafa and Ahmed, who are in the profession and who are practicing the external audit. And there is a register for non-practicing chartered accountants. So you can have some chartered accountants in the country who are not practicing the external auditing, like CFOs, financial managers, CEOs, whatever. For the register of practice chartered accountants, we have the register for practice natural person chartered accountants, the register for audit offices and firms like PwC, EY, other firms, and the register of trainee chartered accountants. So these are the types of chartered accountant registration under the new law. Here we are including some of the key changes in the registration requirements from law number 30 of 2004 to law number 8 of 2020. So this is the first time here in the new law that we are talking about qualifying a test. So now you have to be registered and to be licensed. Here in Qatar, you have to pass and to be qualified for the test. So now this is a new requirement. However, still, we don't have the executive regulations to talk about the details of the test. Are these for audit, for accounting, regulations? So still, this is not clear. However, this is in the new law. The second thing is that there is a mandatory training for Qatari natural person before registration. And we have for non-Qatari auditing firms like PwC, EY, they have to train a number of Qatari chartered accountants. However, the details of how many people you have to train, number of hours, still not clear. So we are expecting this to be part of the executive regulations. Another one is the new committee of chartered accountant affairs to be formed. As of today, still this committee is not formed. This committee will be responsible on registering the new register or chartered accountant. For myself, because I'm licensed in the US and Jordan, I applied for the registration to be registered and licensed under the new law, but I'm waiting for the committee to be formed in order for me to be licensed. Before giving the mic to Mr. Ahmed from EY, I just want to mention two things about the old law that have some items that were in the old law and still in the new law, but they were not active in the old law. These are related to the external auditors and what are the services that can be performed by these external auditors in addition to the external audit. So in the new law, it is one separate sentence saying that the external auditor cannot do any consulting work for the external audit clients. This sentence is very big sentence, and we are discussing with the ministry about what are the details and what are the services that are not allowed, because as external auditor, you can do some tax compliance, you can do some other that like actuarial valuation that are needed for the external audit. So we are discussing with the ministry, maybe this will be part of the executive regulation. The other one is the rotation of the external auditors, because the law is saying that companies should rotate the external auditors for more than 5 years. So every 5 years you have to rotate. So this regulation here in Qatar is applicable for listed entities, but the law here is saying about all limited liabilities or private shareholding company should be rotating every 5 years. Now, still we are discussing this with ministry because still this is not applicable. So if you go to the Big Four, to all firms, they are auditing many family businesses or limited liability companies for more than 5 years. So these are two things that are under discussion between the Big Four and the ministry. And then I will pause here and will give the mic to Mr. Ahmed, so who can go through some details under the chapters 3, 4, and 5.
Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody, good evening. Okay, thanks Walid for your presentation. Thanks Mustafa. As Mustafa mentioned, my name is Ahmed Sayed. I'm associate partner with EY. I'm licensed here in Qatar. My registration number 326. I will go through the new updates. However, we have a little bit, we have the substance of the law is still the same, with some enhancement, mainly for the penalties on right obligation, which will come become more, I don't like to say aggressive, but a little bit become more restricted, and we should follow the rule and respect it, and we should be careful, because now the fine and the penalty really become very material and compared to last law. Okay, when start with the session 4, the right obligation for chartered accountant or the auditors. Stop on next slide. Okay, in general here, the law mentioned from Article 20 to 38 for the rule or the practice as a profession, which in general we know about it, like a review financial statement, express an opinion for the financial statement, prepare financial statement if you have assignment like bookkeeping, because if you prepare financial statement, not able to review or audit the financial statement. Okay, providing consultancy, and as Walid mentioned, we should be very careful what kind of consultancy or advisory service we can provide to our client. Like he mentioned, we can provide the tax service, but if it's come to feasibility study, business plan, we should take all the required approval from ministry to avoid any misunderstanding between us and the client and the ministry. Liquidation activities, and again, if you provide liquidation activities, not able to be the audit in the same time, and plus it's now prohibited with the law or imposed at the restriction from the law. I think all the Big Four and the others have the same rule to have the separate service agreement. I mean, if you are liquidator, not able to auditor, I think BWC, because I had experience with BWC, I spent 1 year with BWC, Deloitte, EY, and I think KPMG and all the other firms, they have the same rule. Under that, the law mentioned any other activities which the law can permit to give to our client or professional service to our client. However, as my colleague Walid mentioned, they not mention to which type of service, which I think it will come for the explanation, or which will come later for the law explanation. Next slide. Furthermore, for the service which we able to provide, examine the books, account record, document, other paper. These are our duties. Okay, obtain all the evidence supporting our conclusion based on our professional, our approach. Contacting inventory count or observe on the inventory count at any time when it's become required. Plus, something new, or they make a highlight that the company not able to fire or say that sorry, we're not able to complete with the auditor unless they found, I mean the audit committee or the board, they found that the auditor neglect in his duty or breach any provision of the law of the professional law. This become very important because otherwise, if you have a client and you have disagreement with the client, it's really not professional at all. The client come at a certain stage and said, "Khalas, we're not able to, continue with this assignment," and see Mr. Auditor, we are sorry because certain professional disagreement between us and the client. Next one, Mustafa. Yes. Here at the general, okay, the auditor should follow the rules and the ethics of the profession, which related to the law or which related to his approach, okay. Plus, they specified a certain requirement like the law should display his name, registration number, certificate with each single financial statement he will sign, notify the Ministry of Commerce and Industry with the name and the qualification those engaged with him to perform the duties, provide audit list with the client, provide any change or amendment on the auditor address, or for any reason, if they cancel the registration or cancel the keys, the practice, they should notify the ministry immediately. Other responsibility, it's normal responsibility, responsible for the audit, review, working paper, validity of data, which support his opinion. Next, please. Other than that, and again, it's included in all our engagement letter that the auditor will be liable to the client or third party if any neglect in his or omission or error during the normal course of the audit business. If the client found that the auditor neglect omission of something, he will be liable to indemnify the client with certain compensation. Usually, we agreed in general terms and for our engagement with our client. Okay. Other duty, we at the auditor, we should maintain the client files data for minimum period 5 years, unless other law mention more than 5 years, because I think here tax law mentioned they should keep the record up to 10 years. If it's 5 years, 10 years, automatically will keep the record up to 10 years. Okay. Submit in note number 3, if any required information the ministry required or authorities required, as my colleague Walid mentioned, we should immediately provide whatever they required at the information or data. Next, please. Here we come to accountability of the chartered accountants or the auditor. To make it very short, the ministry, they have the right to notify, warning, suspense the profession for a period not exceed 3 years, and or cancel from the chartered accountant register. For next slide, we have the penalty. Please, Mustafa. Here, if the auditor incorporating false information of any report and account, signed audit report include misleading information, approving distribution of any unreal dividends. However, the audit not approved the distribution. He should take care about the documentation, neglecting any other duty, sign financial report not audited by him or the people who work under his supervision. The penalty will be 2 million Qatari riyal or 3 years. He will not able to practice or post, depend on the ministry view. Other penalty will come from the other slides. 1 million riyal or suspense from the practice for 3 years. If practice from during the period for suspense, if they have to stop the practice for 3 years and the auditor insists to practice, here additional penalty will be 1 million Qatar riyal. Other than that, breaching the accounting audit standard, here in Qatar, I think Qatar CPA now working with the ministry to formalize or yes, we all know that we use the IFRS and ISA, but really no formal documentation mentioned that this is the standard that we should follow in Qatar, and now they work on the project to formalize that the IFRS and the ISA, it's the approved standard here in Qatar. Next, please. These the other penalty depending on the each single fine 1 million Qatar riyal or both fine for here we give like example, but it's not limited to what we see without being registered without being registered. Register his name with registered short account and provide the wrong information, or other provide misleading information. Here the ministry, they have the right to impose penalty 1 million Qatar riyal, or again 3 years freezing the practice. Next, please. Stop on next. Okay, here the committee will issue code of ethics for the, as I mentioned, for code of ethics, and they will formalize the accounting standard applicable here in the state of Qatar. Okay, plus the ministry shall issue executive regulation, as my colleague Walid mentioned, and we expect that it will include all what is not all what is not explained here in the law. I think this should be within 6 months. Last thing, that this law replace the old law, which number 34 2004. Other than that, all the authorities like what Walid mentioned and should follow the new law, and all the professional like PwC, EY, and the other, we should follow the law immediately. And we try to do our best to follow the law, and if any thing unclear, we at the profession and with our colleagues, we should communicate immediately with the ministry or the regulation to avoid any further penalty or misunderstanding. If any question, maybe we take it very quickly. If any question, my colleague Walid and me, we are available now. Anytime.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed, very much, and thank you, Walid. Okay. So we will just hold for 2 minutes if we receive some questions, and if you can allow me, I may ask the first question if I have this opportunity. So we mentioned in the slides and in the new law that new mandatory training will be required, either from the Qatari people or from the office audit firms to grant this training. So let's say if any Qatari are interested to apply for this training, so what would you advise? Your advice, how he can apply for internship in one of the big 4 firms? Just advice for this.
Let me take this, Mustafa. In general, especially for the big 4, we have this opportunity for internship, especially for people in the universities, and when they finish universities, and even if they are working and they want to spend some time in the profession and the big 4, it will be very good, because this will enhance the quality of the profession and the quality of people in the different industries. So this is also a very good new law, because it's a social responsibility as well from us that we have to give this training to people. So it's part of social responsibility. And from that training or internship, for Qataris or non-Qataris, at the end of the day, this is the source of our people, how we recruit people. So if we have any people who are good in this internship, then maybe they will be part of PwC or EY or Deloitte. So this will improve the quality of the profession and the quality of people in the industry and in the business.
Thank you.
So they can Mustafa, they can approach for all Big Four. They can approach our people if they know people in the Big Four, and they can apply online using the website of PwC, EY, Deloitte. So on the website you can see the internship opportunities. So they can apply for it.
For us, plus what Walid mentioned, we have all our side, and they can approach us directly or apply through the email, HR email. They can apply through Qatar CPA, and we have mutual agreement with Qatar CPA that we can hire Qatari or non-Qatari people through Qatar CPA. So they can apply using the mutual treatment or mutual way, either through our side, EY, or through directly to us, or through Qatar CPA.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Walid, very much. So this is we don't have more questions so far. So this will be putting us at the end of this webinar. At the end, I thank you, Ahmed, very much. Thank you, Walid, and thanks to the ministry and QCBA to give you this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you. And hopefully, if anyone of the audience need anything or you have any question, you can contact us anytime.
Thank you.
شكرا.
Thank you.
شكرا.
شكرا. السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم. السلام.